Hello everyone, welcome back to Fossils and Archaeology. Today, I've got a little bit of a dilemma here. I think one of my compies got out. Yeah, I might have left a way for them to get out in the enclosure. And I think my Serato figured it out too, because he's eyeing that little guy right by the fence. Ooh, you are so lucky you didn't wander in there. That guy could eat you without any second thoughts. Come out of the little grass. Let's get you back home, where you can't accidentally wander into a hungry Ceratosaurus's mouth. Come on. Where are you? I know you're able to teleport if you can't get in. Come on. Where are you? Come on. Where's the... Really? You're stuck on the trash can? Come on. No. We're not jumping on the trash can. I get it. You guys are little scavengers. But come on. I'm not going in the trash can. Leave the trash can alone. Oh my goodness, you guys are little monsters. Come on. Ugh, don't even... Come on. How many times do I gotta do this? Okay, there we go. Now you're in. Oh. Yeah, he used these sea pickles to get out. Smart little bugger you are. Now that escapee has been caught and put back where he belongs, we can actually get started with today's I forgot to put you back on Wander. Come on. I just spent a minute trying to get you back in. Alright. Come on. There you go. There you go. Now you're good. No more escaping gompies. Ugh. Now we can get to the actual episode. Now that guy's finally back where he belongs. Let me check the ornitholestes too. Make sure they all haven't gotten out either. One under this tree. That looks fully grown. Making little noises. Okay, there's another one. Right here. One of the males. This one's moving around. That's not going to make this easier. And there's the other male. Okay. Cool. No escaping compies or ornitholestes. I don't want to track down tiny little dinosaurs. You guys are already a nightmare to find in your enclosure. I can only imagine how hard it'll be to find you out of your enclosure. I'm lucky I found the one. But enough messing around with escaped dinosaurs and enclosures and all that for today. Today we're taking a break from enclosures. I've done a lot of enclosure building these past couple episodes, and I want to take a little break and get some infrastructure buildings up and running that I really need to get done. One of them is for sure the lab. I really need to get the lab done. I've had these culture vats and analyzers sitting here for way too long, and they need to find their proper home outside of the little starter base. So, today, I think over there, I've got a little place where I'm going to get that set up. But first, I need to set up a farm to get some of the blocks a little easier. So we're going to take a trip to the Nether, and I will meet you there. Alright, we are currently in the Nether. We're sitting on top of the roof, because that's where the best farms in the Nether usually get built. Unless you want to go and dig out the entire Nether. I don't want to do that. No sane person wants to dig out the Nether. But today, I've got a farm that was designed by Potato Noir. I'm going to be adapting it a little bit to convert it from a Magma farm to a roguelite farm. They do have a conversion in their video, which I am going to link in the description for you all. But I'm gonna take my own path because the Litematica file is not for this version of Minecraft, so I gotta do it myself. But I'm gonna get started on doing that with all the materials I have in your shulkers. And I'll see you real soon. It's official. I don't need frog lights anymore. This farm is absolutely insane. I didn't realize how ridiculously good this farm gets. I went up to the AFK platform up there and I got all of these in like a couple minutes. So this farm's nuts. I definitely recommend you build it if you are ever even thinking about needing frog lights or even magma cream. Just build this. You'll never have to need it ever again. If you don't know how these farms work, they're really, really simple. Basically, magma cubes will spawn on the platform. The leaves are there to encourage groups. And then the magma cubes hop on over, see the iron golem. They fall in the pit with all the powdered snow. They get split up, and then they get eaten by the frogs and turned into lights. Really simple, really easy. The only thing I think I would change is that loud, annoying item collection and storage system, but I'm not gonna change that right now. I don't plan on coming here that often because it's like so insanely good. But now that this is done, I think we can head over to the build site for today. Oh, feels nice to not be messing around with frogs and cubes and stuff in the nether. Just enjoying the sunlight and the nice lush air around this lovely little fossil mine I've got. But we can't stay here for too long. We have a building we need to get built. That's going right up here. I've already got the Failure hiding over there under the archway. I think I need to lock in, clear the terrain, get the exterior done, and get this build going. I think this is the pretty much done exterior for the build. I'm very happy with this has turned out. I am not the most confident in my building skills. I feel more comfortable doing landscapes, terrain, foliage, stuff like that. So something like this, looking this good, really makes me happy. I really like how I was able to turn like this boxy shape into something that, while still a little boxy because it's Minecraft, it still has its own unique shape. It has its own unique motifs, like this DNA that I've put on the front. If you recognize this from anything else, let me know. I'm curious if anyone else out there remembers this game. It's over 2 decades old at this point, but I'm really happy. I think this looks really good. There's still some stuff I have to do on the outside, like putting in some more vegetation around it to make it feel more fleshed out. I have to complete this path here that I have running down there. But I'm not going to do that, I think, in this episode. You guys have seen me do plants and paths so much. I think you guys would rather see me actually finish up the interior of the build, which still needs a lot of work. I wanted to show you guys the exterior and let you know where I'm going with the build before I actually started working on the interior. And now that I've done that, I feel a lot more confident in, and with the exterior being finished, I feel a lot more confident in the interior and how it's going to look in the world. So I think I'm going to get started on completing the inside. I'm going to get a lot of that done, and then when we come back, we can do some of the finishing touches to this part of the build, and we can talk about what this build is going to mean for the future of this world. I have finished this interior. I am very proud of how this interior looks. I don't pride myself as the best interior builder, but I think I did a decent job in here. Let's take a little tour, why don't we? First, we're going to start at the reception desk, where we will meet the reception staff once I get around to putting them in here, because I have not had the time to put them in here. I have to figure out how to get a villager over here and do all that, and I don't want to do that right now, so... But right now, we can just pretend there's someone here who comes... So if someone comes in, they can talk about what the facility is, talk about what goes on in here, maybe give them a short tour of the facility. It's not a very big facility, but it's got everything that a dinosaur researcher would need in this mod, so I like it. I've added in a computer here at the desk for the receptionist to keep track of who comes in, who goes out, if the staff come in and out. This is also a good thing to have. A secure, also, I guess, functions as a security desk as well, which I really like. I have borrowed the computer design from Oda, who did this in their, I believe, their welcome center, I think it is, which I really liked that design for a computer, so I have recreated it here. If we go to the left from the receptionist, we come to the Failure-saurus enclosure. In here, I've added in some plants along the floor, and some mutant plants as kind of study subjects, as well as the Failure-saurus, who is a big study subject. He's in here because we need to figure out, how did he even come to be? How did we create that from our DNA? And I thought, where better to put him than the lab? I don't know where else to put that mob, so he goes in here. He gets to stay in here. If I get another one, I might put him up there and there. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Hopefully I don't get any more of them, but as we all know with the Fossils and Archaeology mod, when you're cultivating DNA, you get Failure-saurus every so often. Sometimes more than you would like. Next, we can move over to the right here. We have the analyzer wall. In here, I have another simple storage system for storing all the researchable stuff. We have the DNA, maybe the biofossils will go in here, the eggs and stuff can go in here, the cultivated plants can go in here. all the stuff, all the prehistoric stuff will go in here. These analyzers here are all hooked up to a hopper line that will lead into this barrel where I can sift out all the stuff that I want, and any of the stuff I don't want can go to wherever I put it, say the regular storage system. In the middle here, we have the centerpiece of the build, the Triceratops skeleton. I thought this was a very fitting skeleton for this build, especially for a reason I will come to once we finish up the tour here. I have also added in some research desks here with some more computers where the lab workers can work at the computer, get all the reports and whatnot done that they need to submit to whatever staff, I guess, that they need to submit them to. Maybe they submit them to scientific papers for review or stuff like that, which I think is a very good thing. Next, we have the wonderful culture vats. These are once again a borrowed design, but these ones I changed up a bit. These are borrowed from Fern, but I don't know, these culture vat type things have been around since I think tinted glass has come to the game. Or stained glass, my bad. Stained glass has come to the game, the big vat with the little culture vat in it, and the skeleton in the middle. But I'm going to give credit to Fern because that's where I got a big inspiration for these. I really like them. So I decided, hey, let's make them a bit bigger. Let's add some different skeletons. Let's hook them up to actual culture vats. And let's put them in the big research building. I have hooked these culture vats to hoppers as well, so that I don't lose any more DNA to Failure-saurus and incidents. And it just automatically pulls the eggs and stuff out, which is a good thing, because it means I won't lose any more eggs. Or, I don't lose eggs, per se, but it'll just automatically take care of that. So if I put 2 different types of DNA in there, then I can cook up one, and then cook up another, and not have to worry about it getting clogged up. Which brings us to the end of the little tour. I've added in some greenery here to just spruce up, add a bit of color to this pretty gray environment. Won't lie, this environment's pretty gray, but it's a research lab. Usually they're pretty sterile, especially when it comes to biological data like DNA. You want a sterile environment as opposed to one that has a bunch of access points for vectors where those vectors might turn into that guy who hates me so much. You really do hate me. And that's fine, because I don't have to interact with you anymore. You can stay in your little study enclosure, and I can stay out here and do my actual park building. Which brings us to the end of the tour. I really like this build so far, and I have also been deliberating on a name for it as well. As many of you know, recently we lost a huge figure in the paleontology and dinosaur enjoyer community. We have lost the actor for the character Alan Grant in the Jurassic Park movies, Sam Neill. He was a wonderful man who inspired many of us, including me, from a young age to take an interest in dinosaurs, to study paleontology, to continue our interest in dinosaurs to a later age, to build our own parks in, be it Jurassic Park, Operation Genesis, Zoo Tycoon, Minecraft, Jurassic World Evolution, and many, many other games, mods, and what have you. For example, I watched these movies from a pretty young age. My grandfather saw that I was starting to take an interest in dinosaurs, and so he thought, hey, why don't I show you the Jurassic Park movie? Which hooked me instantly. People running away from dinosaurs is a very intriguing concept for a young guy, and or young person, and I took interest immediately, which has helped fuel my long, long history loving dinosaurs, reptiles, and everything else prehistory. And I'm going to very much miss him and the legacy that he has brought us, which means that I am going to permanently name this facility the Sam Neill Dinosaur Research Lab. And that brings us to the Triceratops skeleton in the room. Why is it a Triceratops skeleton? Well, if you remember from the movie, Dr. Ellen Grant's favorite dinosaur as a kid was a Triceratops. And so the Triceratops, its name is Sam. But no, Sam Neill's already the name for this facility. The name for this Triceratops is Ellen, just as a nod to the character. I think that's a fitting name. And now we shall give the facility its first load of research material. I've gotten all these fossils from digging out the area that I needed for this build. So I'm going to break them here with my Paleontology 3, Fortune 3 pickaxe, and we're going to see what we get. And we're going to shove it all in analyzers and see what we get from those. Okay, we got a bunch of skeleton pieces. Awesome. I can shove those in there. I can take these and just drag them here. Shove all these in the analyzers as well. See if I get anything good from them. Do the same with the plant fossils. Yep. Right. There, 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 and there. And then grab the dodo skull for... I like to keep the skulls because I might use them for like signs in the future. But any of the other bones, I can just take, put them in the analyzer, spread them out so that they all get analyzed. We already got a DNA for Grandpa. Let's go. Put that in there. That gets stored away, which is awesome. Which brings us to the end of this wonderful episode. I hope you all have enjoyed this little tour of my research lab and me building it. I hope to use this building a lot more in the future. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any feedback for me on what I can change to make the build look a little better, or if you just like the build in general, please let me know. If you have any personal stories about Sam Neill and what he meant to you, you can tell me those as well. I will read each and every one of them and appreciate them just as much as you do. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. I hope you all have enjoyed the slightly different editing style that I've taken for this episode. I wanted to change things up, do things a little differently, so I think the editing is a little more... It's a little different. If you like that, let me know. I think it's a good change. It makes the video flow a little better. I hope to hear from you all soon. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Everything that YouTubers want you to do, because again, it helps us so very much. With that, take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.